What's up, guys? Today we're gonna talk a bit about the upcoming IndyCar game. I'm gonna read a couple of articles from Mike Straw at Insider Gaming. I will put a link in the description so you can go check out the article. It's his article. He deserves credit. I'm just gonna give you my take on it. I have not read the articles. I'm just getting off iRacing now. I saw this on Twitter, so I'm going to look at it. So here's one tweet that where Mike Straw posts that it says, "Requested IndyCar game feature has been part of the game since day one." So I don't know what they're talking about. Let's take a look. Okay, requested IndyCar game feature has been part of the game since day one. After being sent internal messages with requests from an animator for Motorsport Games to include the mode in the IndyCar game, Insider Gaming has confirmed that a requested IndyCar game feature will be part of the game. A lead developer from the game's Australian studio confirmed via private messaging that the time trials is another mode. This about time trials? Time trial mode has been in the game design and code base from day. Of course, it's not career mode. They're trying to make this a big deal. This is almost like a reverse straw man argument, right? Nobody's been talking about time trials. I don't think anyone's been asking about it or concerned about it. But it sounds like they're making a big thing out of it to get people excited about something that nobody cares about. People care about career mode. That's not in the game. So I thought it was something else. This information comes from an earlier Insider Gaming report regarding modes and features coming to the upcoming IndyCar game. Based on early information from those who've played the game and a screenshot of an alpha build of the game's menu, it will feature a championship mode, quick races, online play, and customization. Again, no career mode. The game also features a fully functioning photo mode, a detail confirmed by Demi. See, they're trying to make. They're listing off every little detail so that you feel like there's a lot more in the game than there really is. Another thing nobody cares about, a photo mode. Photo mode is something you care about when you have things like career mode and you already have a fully fleshed out game. Then those things become icing on the cake. But they're boasting about this stuff like it's a big deal. The game is not going to have a career mode. As far as what the championship mode will entail, those who we've spoken to have yet to be given access to a build with it active. That said, based on a description provided at the time, it will see players get behind the wheel of an IndyCar with the goal of winning a championship. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's the same thing that almost what you see in Ignition, which is a glorified season mode. Okay? Not only that, in Ignition, you don't even drive as yourself. You're driving like a car with an existing driver's name. So this is going to be another play on that. They call it a championship, but it's basically a season mode. It's glorified. It's not a career mode, which is what you really want in a sports game. They're really just trying to build it up into something more than it is. It's unconfirmed if the mode will be a single season mode or if it will run multiple seasons. If it ran multiple seasons, then you could kind of call it a career mode, even at a most bare bones level. Motorsport Games IndyCar title has been slated to launch in 2023 for some time, though no exact date has been announced just yet by the company. Internal emails confirmed it is still planned for this year. Also still planned for 2023 are the latest NASCAR game and the new Le Mans title. I'm going to talk more about this upcoming NASCAR game. What do you think of the latest confirmed IndyCar feature? Garbage. So let's get away from that and see what else Mike Straw has dug up for us. Okay. 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 So here's another. Despite prior, oh, it's not an article, but despite prior assurance from Motorsport Games management about no major role changes, I've learned that there have been layoffs made that impact the IndyCar game directly. This isn't really news. Like, we know there are layoffs everywhere, but I think they were just saying, oh, look, we only got rid of the Russian group that was working on the NASCAR game. But apparently there's layoffs across the board. And whatever you're hearing from Motorsport Games, you know they're only giving you the tip of the iceberg. So, yeah. So good luck with this IndyCar game. Okay, look. I'm just going to tell you guys. What we care about is the NASCAR game. I've been telling you guys for well over a year, we are not getting a brand new NASCAR game from anybody for at least a few years. Now, to me, a realistic time frame is 3 years at the earliest. Now, there is an outside chance that somebody like iRacing, if they got the license, that they could pump out a game, I think, in 2 years. But that depends on how much of their own assets they can use in the game. I'm not a developer. I'm not sure how they can make that work. But apparently that they did help with the development of World of Outlaws. And they did use a lot of their art assets. So I'm not sure how much of what they have in iRacing they can actually use in a NASCAR game. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I really hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I like to give it to you guys honestly. To think we are going to get a new NASCAR game anytime soon is foolish. I told you guys from the beginning, when Motorsport Games claimed that they were starting from scratch and building a brand new game from the ground up, that they were just walking away from the Ignition platform, I told you right away, we are not going to see a game in a year. That's impossible. Even for a company like EA, with all the resources they have, to build a game from scratch in 1 year is ridiculous. Anybody that believed that is a fool. But I told you guys from the outset that it's bullshit. They were playing games. They just wanted to get away from Ignition. They know everything attached to that is really bad. So they want people to think, look, they're just starting over. And that sounds great. But to say that they were going to do that in 1 year was never a realistic thing. And I told you guys. So not only did that turn out to be bullshit, but we also learned recently, if you saw one of my last videos, that not only are they not building a brand new NASCAR game from scratch, they're actually going to resurrect an old, outdated game. It could be NASCAR Rivals, which is really NASCAR Heat 5, or NASCAR Heat 5. So, regardless of which direction they go, they are using an old, outdated game. And the most that you're going to get is new paint, updated paint schemes, and a roster update with the next gen car. In other words, the DLC that they had announced that never came out, they're going to call it a new game. That's what they're doing. And this company, what they've done, not just with NASCAR, but I think they're going to set back all of these titles that they have in under their umbrella, all of these licenses. Man, they are doing major damage because they're setting gaming back by I would say at least 5 to 10 years. So we already had games that were outdated. Even when we first bought NASCAR Heat 5, that was what, 3 years ago? That game was already outdated. So they're bringing that back. They're going to try to use that, give it a fresh coat of paint, and then sell it to you as a brand new game. They should be embarrassed and ashamed, but of course they're not. Not only are we not getting a new game, okay, we don't even have anything we can look at and say, okay, they made mistakes and they're making big changes to address those mistakes and go in a different direction. Right? So what am I talking about? What's the best way they can send a message to the public but to say, okay, we realize where we messed up and what we need to do? Well, the first thing you need to do is fire the CEO, Dmitry Kosko. So he's still there. What does that tell you? It should tell you that the upper management at Motorsport Network, they're okay with him. They're not looking to make a change at the top. So if they're keeping him in charge, then what hope do you have that they're going to do anything? I told you guys years ago, when 704 first got the license, they were called Duesenberry Martin Racing. When they first picked up the license from Eutechnics, some of you will remember, but I made a video and I explained to you guys the biggest issue we've had, why we don't get the type of games we want, is it's not because of the game engine. Don't listen to idiots like Captain Sleeveless who are always, blaming everything on the Unity engine and also saying that because of the license, that's why they have to release a game every year no matter what condition it's in. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Game engines don't make games. People make games. A game engine is a tool to build a game with. So you can blame a lot of things, but not the game engine. NASCAR games are very simple games. Compare them to other sports games. The most difficult part of a NASCAR game to develop is the physics and the AI. Everything else is basic game development 101. Besides the physics and the AI, what is there that's difficult to do when you develop a NASCAR game? So I tell people, stop worrying about game engines. It's the people. And when I talked about Duesenberry Martin Racing, I told you guys the problem with these games is the lack of vision. The decisions made by the people at the top. When they're out at the drawing board stage, right? And they say, okay, this is what we want to focus on for this game. Me, personally, right? If I was in charge, this is what I would tell my developers. Okay, We got to have the physics, and we got to have the AI. Has to be on point. That's your gameplay. Okay? So that's the most important thing. We want to make sure that the physics feel right and that the AI behaves and races in the way that you want it to. And you build a game around that. I want a user interface that's easy to navigate, but it has everything that's where it's easy to navigate, and it's what you see in other sports games. I don't want stats hidden somewhere where you gotta have. It's hard to just find them. It should be an immersive part of the game. I want presentation, pre-race, post-race, commentary, interviews, deal with sponsors. Look at the NBA 2K franchise. Look at MLB The Show, Road to the Show, Career Mode. Look at those two games, play those two games so that you can walk away with an understanding on how a proper career mode is structured. I want full customization, a paint booth. That's how you lay out the groundwork. I have a vision for what a NASCAR game should be. These guys do not. Their vision is something else. Their vision is DLC, microtransactions, and esports. We just want a good, well-rounded video game. And until they understand that, they're never going to get it right. That's the problem. It's a lack of vision. They used the best game engine in the market, the Unreal Engine, for NASCAR Ignition. And yes, the game is a good-looking game graphically. There is nothing else about that game that's worthy of any praise. Not only that, the Unreal Engine is a really sophisticated game engine. But along with that, you have problems. Problems like it's not easy to work with or make changes. I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you what I've seen, read. I've seen many people comment on it. I'm not a game development expert, but I do understand. I do have a vision for what a NASCAR game should be, and it's very basic. There's nothing revolutionary or groundbreaking, and yet we never get it, and that's because there is a lack of understanding at the leadership position on what to develop as a game. So we're not getting a NASCAR game for quite a long time. They're going to shovel out an old, outdated game with a fresh coat of paint, and they're going to call it a new game. These people are fucking shameless. And I'm just telling you, Motorsport Network, why are they continuing to pump money into this? They don't have a choice. They're all in on this esports shit. That's why they invested all this money to corner the market, to buy out all these licenses so that they don't have competition. And they apparently they like what the CEO is doing. Excuse me. They like what the CEO has been doing. They don't see a problem. He must have them bamboozled as well, but that's a message to me as a consumer. The fact that he's still there, that's a message to me direct from Motorsport Network saying, we don't see a problem. We're not making any change. We'll let him worry about how to market all this shit. And of course, he's going to keep lying to people. You see in these articles, they're all leaks. They're all leaks from employees. And he's bullshitting everybody, including the people who work right under him. So, I'm sorry. We're not getting a new game anytime soon. It's going to be years before we see a new NASCAR game. So, I wish I was wrong. And unfortunately, there is something I've been wrong about. And that's something else I wish, I wish I wasn't wrong. But that's the fact that I thought these guys would be dead by now. They're not. I never took into account the fact that Motorsport Network is going to be their sugar daddy for a long time. They're not going to just pull the plug and walk away. They have a lot of money at stake. They almost have to keep feeding this thing, hoping that things turn around. And now they're banking on an outdated old game that they can just update the paint schemes and the rosters and call it a new game. And everybody knows it's really the DLC everybody was supposed to get by now, and we didn't. That's what's going on. They probably said, just, do what you can with that, and we'll just release it as a game and call it the game that we told everyone we were going to build from scratch in 1 year, which I knew all along. It was bullshit. So, I don't know what else to tell you guys. I wish I had good news, but this is the worst company I've ever seen. It's the damage they've done to the motorsport video game genre. It's going to be felt for years because they've cornered the market. They have all these licenses. There's a stranglehold. And they don't have competition. And they figure, fuck it. Well, whatever garbage we make, what else are people going to buy? They're going to have to buy it from us. That's why I tell people, don't give them your money. So, anyway, those are my thoughts. I look forward to your comments. Later.